And welcome to the ballpark, ladies and gentlemen.
You've even got your ball jersey on.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I am wearing a baseball jersey. What's up, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. Good to be back with you this fine Thursday evening. Cyrus?
I mean, it's good to see all the usual suspects hanging out in the chat. Love it.
We love it. We love it. Shout out to Lucky D, Scott, Joe, everybody getting here early. Jack, Thor Shiner.
Y'all. Yep.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys running some stuff. We read your chats before we get going.
Mr. Mark Morgan is in here. Is that the same Mark Morgan for...
He's got Warren's out of Okmulgee County.
Warren's out of Okmulgee?
Yep.
No, the podcast he does on Facebook. He does a live stream on Facebook.
Oh, no. Go check that out.
If it's the same Morgan, let me know if it is or if it isn't. I might have you confused.
He's like, nope, I'm actually from Ogden, Utah.
Adolf Kensteiner.
What's up?
From TikTok.
Joining
I don't recognize that handle.
Virginia Mark.
Virginia Mark. Okay.
Same guy? Different guy?
Different guy, I think. Yeah.
I like you better, Mark Morgan. This Mark Morgan. I'm just kidding. I'm not that. Well, so here's what we've done. We've got this still fired up for you guys. We've pulled off 3 jars. For those of you that are in here early, there'll be some guest approved flavors. This is jar number 1 at 129, number 2 at 130, and number 3 at 127. What's our mash made out of, Cyrus?
This is a straight corn liquor, sugar mash. Yeah, it's still, we are still running that part of the rum, the large mash that we did. That we eventually want to be able to do an experiment where we can do blind taste tests on a single run, a 1.5 run, and a double distillation. See if we can tell the difference. Decide what we like best, and even leave it here on the bar at the ABV Society and get other people's blind reaction and see if we can tell. What do most people like? A single pot run, a 1.5 run, or a double distillation. So this is part of that. This is this is a single run that we're doing. We'll set aside part of this that will be the single run sample, and then we'll use that to make the rest of it to make the double distillation. We've already got a 1.5 run done. We've got another single run done. We got to get enough to do that double distillation, and then after that, then we can run that experiment.
Jeffrey Bett over on TikTok asks, what is a 1.5 run?
So 1.5 run is like right now, this is the first run off of this wash. So this is a single run. Now, if we were to take this distillate, this collective distillate, put it back in the pot, fill it up with another batch of wash of the same, well, it doesn't even have to be the same kind. So instead of like a double distillation, you're putting in 40% of liquor plus water. A 1.5 run is the pot is a regular wash of another corn liquor or whatever, and then we dump this distillate from this run into that wash. That's a 1.5 run. So it's kind of between the single run and the double distillation, where on the single run side, you get the boldest flavor. On the double distillation, you get the cleanest liquor, and this is kind of in between.
Well said. I enjoy drinking all of it. But the 1.5s and the doubles, I think it's cool to kind of see how it changes, and what all it adds to it in terms of clarity and cleanness and all that other kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Mark Morgan says, they say I'm the shadow in Uncle Moonshine page. Okay, now I know who you are. Yeah.
Oh.
So I was thinking it was Uncle Moonshine there for a second because the name, but he's the shadow of Uncle Moonshiner.
I got you. What does that mean?
He's always there and has the same name. I guess.
I see.
Yeah.
Got some other stuff playing too. I think we've got a big old shit pot full of honey mead over there that we are going to put in some flip-top bottles. Well, we'll rack it. We'll put in some flip-top bottles, and we are going to drop some carbonation pellets, most often used in beer.
See if we can make some sparkling mead. It's just a straight honey mead.
Yep.
3 gallons of it. So a lot of bottling.
We neutralize that, right?
I hope not, because, the carbonation drops won't work if we did.
Oh, okay. I see. You still need a little yeast colony.
Yeah.
Okay, that adds up. That checks out.
I guess if it never carbonates, then we'll know that we did.
I didn't, but I thought at one point that you may have.
I may have. Yeah.
I don't know that.
Nobody knows the answer.
But we'll find out together.
Maybe we'll find out. Yeah.
Cool to see all you guys coming in from TikTok. Jeffrey Bed said he's got a couple meads racked right now. Gary Batusi, where do I get yeast from? Man, you can order online. Is it on stoneclear.com, yeast?
No, we don't have that online. Like I'm going to be adding some variety yeast kits to homebrewcenter.com, but I don't have it yet. But you can go to Amazon, your local homebrew shop, if you have one where, local homebrewers buy their supplies. You can get it there too.
Bearded Bear, what's up, brother?
What's up?
Lucky D says, I know this has probably already been covered, but what do you use to kill the yeast before bottling wine?
I will use two products. One is potassium metabisulfite, either in tablet form or powder form, plus some potassium sorbate. That'll neutralize the yeast. Then you can back sweeten or just make sure nothing else is going to happen when it's bottled.
Yeah. Pro certified Kool-Aid sipper over on TikTok. What a name, brother. What a name.
Awesome.
Georgia Moonshine. Shout out, man.
Randy's back in the house. Good to see you, brother.
Randy.
Also, for those of you that might be wondering from last week, if you weren't here last week, we put a chicken in the pot and made some what we call gringo pechuga. And we ended up, after all the blending, because we didn't do a video after that, we got a gallon at 120 proof of the pechuga. And not sure what we're going to do with this yet. Traditionally, it's not aged. So I don't know if we want to age some or what. If you guys have any ideas of what to do with this pechuga that we ran last week with 128 proof, throw those ideas in there.
It won't be running it again if that's what you're trying to get us to do. Which it was actually pretty fun. I would give the liquor a good solid rating. It's like super interesting. I've sipped a little bit and smelled it, and the chicken, however, like -7 stars.
Yeah, I definitely want to make some other versions of the pechuga. I want to try and do like a real traditional one before we start experimenting with other
mash.
Yeah. Because I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised with it. And
really cool.
and I agree with you. Like, I'm not eating any more of that chicken.
Well, I mean, never say never situation, but yeah, it was pretty not good.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I get how it's entertaining for you guys, but like that's I mean, not playing it up, not kidding. Skin almost got me.
Scott, the last jar off the still was 127 proof. Bradley Kellogg, we do not have license to sell any of this liquor. Sorry, Bob.
Yeah, if you if you ask us on social media or anywhere, like, hey, can I buy some? No. What up, Daryl? Daryl's over on TikTok, man. Daryl's one of my main guys over there.
What is the double barrel Daryl?
He's got, I don't know what's going on, if he's got warrants out of Tulsa County or what, but he goes by a few different aliases over there.
Jeffrey says, so it's free. Yeah, actually, if you come down to the shop, you can sip on all of it you want.
Go to stillintheclear.com, click the link tree in my bio. You can go over, shop, or don't. But that website has, I think the address to the Homebrew Center is
not on Still in the Clear. It's on homebrewcenter.com.
Homebrewcenter.com. There you go. Come on down. Taste until you got to call your wife, regrettably, and inform her that you had a little bit more than you intended to drink, and that if she could ever so kindly drive the 3 to 4 hours from which you came to pick you up and drive you home.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a flashback right there.
I also got a something for us to drink. This is a mystery bottle because I didn't label it.
I don't know what it is.
Whatever it was when I bottled it. I'm looking at it and I'm guessing this is an apple wine. but don't know. Don't know the proof or the ABV.
I see a little pink in there. Maybe just a little tinge of, I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I don't see that, but well, that'd be cool. I enjoy the old mystery bottle.
I enjoy the mystery bottles myself. And then also, we started last week doing the giveaways on the Guess the Proof.
Yeah.
Only one of the Guess the Proofs. And you don't know which one it's going to be. We're just going to say, hey, this jar, whoever guesses it, wins. And this week we are giving away the new Distiller's Toolkit. And that comes with a test jar, a Big Daddy thermometer, a triple scale hydrometer, and an alcohol hydrometer.
Bang, bang.
And a digital pH meter.
No big deal. Just a really cool kit with a bunch of neat stuff that's going to make your life easier.
$52 worth of stuff for nothing.
Just for being here.
Just for being a good guesser.
And guessing good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sit here and I'm staring at the numbers. Again, hey, early advantage for you guys that are in here and in here early. To win the kit, we're going to pull one of these jars off. We're going to get the proof off of it, and you're going to guess the proof. If you get the proof right, and you're the first one to guess, you're going to win that toolkit. I'll tell you right now. Jar number 1's at 129, jar number 2 is at 130, and jar number 3 is at 127. You got the upper hand. You got the advantage for being here, so congratulations.
Yep. And Jack asks, did you guys say the breakfast cereal bourbon recipe is on MeWe? Yes. In the Moonshine for Beginners group on MeWe. In the files section, under the files section, there's a folder called recipes, and it's in there. What else? We've talked about everything. We're gonna put some oak sticks on the rum that we ran a few weeks back, the easy rum recipe that we did. So yeah, Bear, that is a nice kit. Nice gift. Thank y'all.
Dwayne over on TikTok said Southwest Virginia boys in the house. Well, welcome in, brother. Welcome in. I have come to find
Joe's got her guess in already. She's ready.
Joe's in there. Don't even know which jar yet.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
She's right there.
Yeah.
You pull out of the heart, you're going to come in at 125.
It's yeah.
Love you, Joe.
We don't know which jar we're guessing on yet, Joe. I can fully appreciate the.
She's probably right. Hey, Joe, if you want to lock in that answer and just be the first to guess 125s,
Scott's at 124. They're already guessing.
We'll lock it in.
What are y'all doing? The cereal shine is very good. Yeah, Paul, I do agree.
Little Bear on TikTok. I've got a quart jar on a stave right now. Been on for 6 weeks. Aging in a jar. How long do you think? Man, that's going to be one of those. What did you start with, and like what kind of wood, and how much char, and you just have to taste that, dude, and see if it's where you want it.
So when I age with oak sticks, this is fizzy wine. And when I age with oak sticks in a jar, I typically will start tasting at about 5 weeks. And it usually ends up somewhere, I start liking it somewhere between 5 and 8 weeks.
Let's get a nice.
With an oak stick. Hips go much faster. You have to start tasting within, a week or two. And if you're on those spirals, man, those things are way too fast for me.
Spirals go quick.
Yeah.
Let's get a nice tight shot of our mystery bottle here. We'll have the production crew kind of.
Okay, Lucky says the recipe's not on MeWe. Okay, Jack, I'm sorry. We'll get it on there, though.
It'll be on there.
I'll talk with, I'll see if Iron Duke will get that on there. And I already saw earlier in MeWe, Iron Duke was saying goodnight. It was like midnight his time, so he's probably not going to be in here tonight.
You guys like that?
What?
In a past life, I was a hand model. Not really. You didn't notice. Pretty sure there's some oil stains on my fingers from where I added a quart of oil to my 68 3/4 ton earlier. Anyway, that said, we'll bring it back out. I'm getting some.
Jason says, I could use that kit. My Christmas gift's going to be a Beaver 5-gallon, trying to get everything I will need. Yeah, this would be a perfect kit for you, brother, because you're going to need all that stuff.
If you don't win it, and again, do or don't, but if you don't win it, they are available on Still on the Clear. You could just send the link to your wife, like if you're from where you're coming from, stillintheclear.com. If you're on TikTok, link in my bio. If not, just go to the website. You can look on there, send that over to the wife, the girlfriend, depending on the age of your children, if they're adults at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get it for you. Tell them you want it. You don't ask for anything all year. They can't get you a distiller's kit.
Yep. Yeah, Jack, Joe Parks just reminded me that the video of me doing the cereal bourbon is on YouTube. So you can just go to, the YouTube channel and search breakfast cereal bourbon, and it'll pop up. I do the whole start to finish with that recipe.
What have we here? I'm smelling.
I'm a little disappointed.
I don't know what this is. I mean, it's a great mystery bottle because from the smell of it,
that's apple. Yeah. Well,
it's got
yeah, it's apple. It was certainly one that I failed to neutralize.
I don't mind that though. Sometimes
I don't mind the fizzy, but I'm disappointed with this one.
Opened up with one with Adam the other night at the house. Same thing. Like one of the first, like the literal first batch of muscadine wine I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
We opened a bottle of it. It's been sitting, I don't even know how long, and it was like a Limbrusca. I mean, it was like a fizzy.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not liking this one. And it's not the fizzy that I don't like. It's there's a sourness in it I don't like.
It is sour.
Yeah.
My wife would love it.
Oh, okay.
She's a big sour beer, sour. Yeah. Interesting.
Still going to drink it. It's not bad enough that I'm going to pour it out.
No.
Right.
No.
We're running this batch on one of the Whiskey Still Pro Alembic copper stills, and they're on sale right now for the holidays. If you're interested in one of these Alembic stills, you can go to Whiskey Still Pro. Check them out there.
We'll drop a link in the chat for you guys. There they are, right there. Boom. Ask and you shall receive. You can go to that, and right now they are offering 10% off on shipping to get your order in. What I like about them, there's a 5 and a 10 gallon.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 gallon, and again, I'm doing a video on this right now. I want to run on my stovetop. I want to be able to run it inside kind of conveniently from my kitchen. If I don't want to go outside, or if I'm kind of in between things inside, I can just kind of watch my still.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like about the 5 gallon. Now the 10 gallon, you had said earlier that the onion top, that style of still, the Alembic still, is like maybe one of the oldest stills that we know of.
Yeah, this still design is the oldest still design that we've found on record for stills.
That's sick.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also, they look good. My wife doesn't mind this one just sitting around in my house because it is pretty. And I put a little stock in that. I mean, it's like she's not like the opposite is her not liking them, complaining about being around.
Right.
This one, it's like, oh, this one looks good enough. Just kind of hang out.
Right.
So, yeah, pretty cool still, though.
Jeremy Keller's in the house over there on TikTok. And I know those of you on TikTok can't see the people on the chat in YouTube and vice versa, but we can see all of the chats coming from both TikTok and YouTube. We're on TikTok over on the ABV Guys channel. And if you're on TikTok and want to see us on YouTube, it's the Still in the Clear channel.
Yeah. TikTok's a crazy place, man.
Have they lifted your, like, are they still punishing you?
Zero restrictions. Well, okay, on paper, we're good.
Yeah.
But
How many people are up there in the chat on TikTok? 12.
see,
You go up to 90.
that's what happens. And then they'll be 10 minutes from now, I'll get a message. Your life has been limitedly restricted for whatever. I don't care.
I got a message from YouTube that said the last live was restricted, partially restricted.
Really?
They hate us because they ain't us, man.
I think it was like, there's a box to check for over 18, and I think I forgot to check it. And so they're restricting it in that way.
Yeah, it's wild, man. They're like kind of, well, and two, just like looking at my For You page sometimes, like I'll scroll through videos. I'm looking like normal video, kind of like on brand with what I normally see, and then every now and then I get like a Chinese furniture building video. I'm like, how'd that get here? What is this?
But did you watch it?
Yeah.
Well, then they knew.
I mean, yeah. That's the thing too.
Pretty good.
That's the thing too. They get you on one of those and you watch it fully.
You're right.
And then it's like, next thing you know, that's all you might as well just, get your passport in line, get over there, start building some artisanal furniture,
right.
some traditional Chinese furniture.
Right.
It's like uproot your whole life.
With nothing but a handsaw and a chisel.
Yeah.
Paul says, my wife wants a copper one just to look at. I want one to run.
I like to run them.
Sounds like y'all were on the same page to get one. So that's pretty awesome.
As you guys can tell, we run at least once a week here with you guys. So we like running them too. It does solve both your problems though, Paul. She can look at it. You can run it.
Mm-hmm. What else are we doing tonight? Well, we're bottling the mead.
We're bottling some mead. We are.
Oh, I guess we could go ahead and just, aging the the rum that we did, because it's so difficult.
Yeah.
We should start this process now because it's pretty difficult. So
this is time. It does take some time.
We got a half gallon of the easy rum that we made 4 weeks ago. That's just been sitting.
Look at there.
And I'm going to drop a medium toasted oak stick.
That's my favorite part. Oof.
And a medium charred oak stick. And this, because it's a half gallon, it's going to age pretty quick, I think. Maybe it might age a little bit too quick, but we'll see. But we'll probably open this back up in about 3 weeks.
Do you think some liquors age faster or slower than others, like not proof dependent? Like, so if you had a 120 proof rum versus a 120 proof Corn Likker, like, will one age faster than the other? In terms of
all things being equal, aside from the wash,
equal, just a different kind of liquor, different wash to begin with. Yeah.
That's, I've never thought about it. That's interesting though, because I think that what you would like, they're going to age at the same rate, basically, all things being equal, humidity, temperature, everything being equal, they're going to age at the same rate. The question is going to be, is corn better when it's aged to this point?
That's true.
And is rum better when it's aged to this point?
That's true.
That would be the real difference.
Like, you're going to want to age a rum up until this point because it had X amount of like spice and flavor, and it's complemented by the wood in this way, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I think anyway. I've never ran that type of experiment though, so I don't know.
Bearded Bear asks, what is amylase enzyme for?
Amylase enzyme is the enzyme that will convert starches into long chain sugars. So we use that when we're doing all grain recipes, meaning we're not adding sugar to the mash. We're converting the starches in the grains into sugar. The amylase converts it in the starch into a long chain sugar. Mm-hmm. And then you have to have a beta amylase or a glucoamylase to convert the short chain sugars into fermentable sugars, the long chain sugars into fermentable sugars. Sorry. So that's what the alpha is for.
How's that for all you assholes think we're just dumb old redneck Liquor runners. That's a pretty scientific answer to a.
I mean, not really, but it wasn't bad.
The words in there just sounded great.
I mean, I don't get deep into the science, but I learn enough to know what I got to do and not do. That's basically what I do.
I always have that question in the back of my mind. If I don't fully comprehend something, I'm like, why is that the way that is?
Yeah.
I do that stuff into the ground. But the end result is just exactly the same. I'm just a monkey humping a still. That's
Right.
Joe Parks asks, do you have to paste the cap on the Olympic still or tape it?
I have seen people tape them. I use paste because to me the paste isn't that hard. It's easy to mix up, and that's how I do it. But I think you can do it either way because I know
I've seen both.
I've seen people tape them with just even like blue painter's tape. I've seen it done that way. I don't know how well that works, but I've seen it in videos. So
I saw a guy had I popped into his live over on TikTok, and he had that orange, and I happened to go in there at the same time he was taping his still, and he said he uses the orange Gorilla tape because it's meant for like to stick on the dust and to be like extra sticky, I guess.
Okay. Liz asks, what's the giveaway? Liz over on TikTok. The giveaway is the new Distiller's Toolkit, Big Daddy thermometer, test jar, both hydrometers, the triple scale and the alcohol hydrometer, and digital pH meter.
Boom.
Also comes with various guide sheets. Most of the folks in here know what the guide sheets are, but they're basically one-page explanations of some aspect of home distilling. Oh, there they are. If you're interested, they're all free. It's a free download. Just click the link down in the description and go get them. They're free.
Yep.
Yeah, bearded. You do need some beta or gluco, or sometimes it's just called beta gluco. There's two amylases, two enzymes to do that with if you're not using malted grains. The malted grains, if you're using those, they have everything that's needed within the grain. But the liquid amylase are way easier to do than the traditional way of using the malted grains.
Yep. Mark Morgan over on YouTube said, I would suggest wood makes difference in aging also. Just my opinion, though. Of course. Yeah. So if you have, whether it's straight oak or lightly toasted oak or charred oak or, a different type of wood, I don't know if guys are using hickory and mesquite for those kind of things. But yeah, I would imagine that for sure the different, because you've done experiments and stuff like that on your channel where you've aged some stuff on this versus this, and it's so yeah, it does make a difference.
Jack asks, is Glucobuster the beta amylase? I don't know for sure. Like, I guess I haven't even seen what the Glucobuster. I don't know what that is. Well, but I would imagine it is.
It's probably just
that would be my guess.
Right?
Yeah, glucoamylase or beta amylase. My guess is it is, but I'm saying I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Jeffrey says he's been using both malted and amylase. Yeah. All of my all grain kits for the beginners who are transitioning from like sugar washes and sugar mashes into all grain, they come with enough malted grains in them that you could do it the traditional way. They also come with the liquid amylase. And so most of my runs now, I always use liquid, even though I'm using the malted grains at the same time, because I figured like your bases are covered. Like even if you kind of get because with the malted grains, you have to get your temperatures just right. And there's a small window. And if you screw that up, you don't get a full conversion. And that kind of sucks. And you got to add sugar later to get to your gravity.
A little slap and tickle, they call it.
Is that what they call it? A little slap and tickle?
That's what they're saying.
I don't know if that's what they call it, but that's what I now call it.
I'm going to read this next comment off YouTube, and I want you, brother, when I read this comment out, to know that it is 100% purely your handle. Brozan Brohamsky asks, or no, says, just take some quick oats and grind them up in a grinder to a powder. Great working paste. It's cool.
I've never actually tried that one, Brozan, but I use the mix I use for the paste is 3 parts of rye flour to 1 part water. Works every time. Anyone heard from Red at Shine Shack? Man, I haven't. And he hadn't put out a video in a while either. So
that's me for $40 sure. Last week. No. Bearded Bear said, that's what I want to do is get away from the sugar. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
it's not that hard. Start with the liquid amylase. It's way easier. The high temp alpha and the gluco together work well, work every time.
And it's a recipe dependent thing too, right? Like sometimes you're going to want dextrose in a mass. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you're going to want all grain, or you're going to, and you're going to have to convert.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I forgot. We don't have to look back at the jar anymore.
They let us know. You guys let us know in the chat, how does the jar cam look? What do you guys think? You like it?
Are we calling it the jar cam?
I think it's serious. I don't know what we're calling.
I would call it the drip cam.
The drip cam?
It just sounds a little bit dirty, and I'm not sure.
It does. You're right. Kenny Taylor over on TikTok.
Is Scott McNeil. Okay, brother, good to see you.
Oh, okay. Kenny Taylor over on TikTok said, I've been using Yellow Label Angel yeast, has the amylase in it.
Yeah, so I haven't tried that one yet, and I bought the Angel yeast. It's been over a year ago now, and I never have even opened it. But I want to try it because
the other day.
What's interesting about it is, so I've heard, is it converts the starches and it's the yeast all at the same time, which is
pretty cool.
Pretty awesome. Jack votes for drip cam.
Yeah.
All right, so Ron Hall has a question. Gluten-free alcohol, is there any?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So there are specific liquors. Let me think of what they are. I believe tequila. So it's got to be a liquor that doesn't have a wheat or grain or rice. Well, I don't know that the rice, maybe it's different at that point. We're going to do a little Google search on that, but I'm pretty sure I want to go ahead and tell you tequila is one of those.
Would that mean brandies are gluten-free? I don't know shit about it. So.
Yeah. So like sugar, like fruit-based, like a brandy or possibly a wine. But there is a certain amount of gluten, I think, in some wines. I don't know. We're going to look at that. We'll put it in the chat for you. We'll get you an answer. I'm just not exactly sure what to give you.
But he says 100% corn is gluten-free. Well, there you go.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Or are you just saying that?
I mean, Lucky doesn't usually...
Lucky doesn't normally fudge.
Run his mouth.
He's not normally a fudger.
Yeah. Roseanne says call it the money spout shot. Or the money spout cam. I added the dirtiness to that one.
Tequila is a gluten-free.
Oh, there we go. We got some, the Atom is dropping some bombs.
Look at that. Look at that knowledge getting pasted into our chat. You like that? Drip cam,
see the jar through Psy. Yep.
Jason Trzynski on YouTube said drip cam makes it so we can see how full jar is instead of just guessing, since we can't see the jar through Psy. Yeah, that's kind of what we were thinking. Where either one of us or both of us, due to kind of where we sit every week, we're blocking, and so we wanted one really for our peace of mind. I mean, it's not great when you're not really you're kind of involved in conversation, you're interacting with the chat, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, I haven't looked at the jar in 10 minutes. Heart attack. So glad you guys got her back on that one. Hard solder. Ooh, sake. Yeah, so I guess some rice-based things are gluten-free. Soju. Love soju. Soju is a dangerous one.
Is that just rice whiskey?
It is.
That was sake.
I think it is the equivalent to a rice brandy, because I think with soju, what they do is they make a rice wine and then they distill it. And then it's proofed down to where it's like maybe like a 28 proof, or like 14%, somewhere between 14 and 20-ish%. Like it's really, the way it comes off and tastes is like, this is not going to hurt me. But its whole thing is that it hurts you. And you can't realize it, because when you're drinking it doesn't taste like there's any alcohol in it.
Right. Gotcha.
So
Richard's in the house. See ya. Oh, you know us, Richard. We're just yakking.
Just gabbing a little bit.
Just seeing how many people we can get to just watch us move our mouths. That's 24. Apparently is the answer.
There was a guy at a truck stop one time. Never mind.
Okay, so why don't we go ahead and bottle up this mead?
Let's
See if we can make some carbonated mead the easy way.
We're going to siphon it off into a fermentation bucket and then bottle out of there, or
I say we bottle it right out of that, right there.
Cool,
because that's all of it we put in there has been racked off a number of times.
Yeah,
so it should be fine.
Been racked multiple times, and they got racked into this bigger carboy.
Gary McGaw from Aussie says, "Hey, what's up, brother?" Okay.
All right. You fine folks are about to put us to work here.
There's our gravity helper stand.
We may have to back out here, Adam. I don't know.
I'm already pulled over. I can't pull over any further.
I'm pulled over. I can't pull over any further. Great reference. All right. I guess we want some bottles.
Grab the bottles. Just bring that whole tree over.
Yes. What we did here, guys, is we sanitized these earlier in some Star San. We put them on this handy dandy little drying rack. You'll notice too that Star San. See how there's some bubbles in there? We don't care. You don't got to rinse the stuff all the way out.
They're going to reach all the way?
It's going to reach, man.
Right.
That'll reach.
Well,
I'll give you some slack here.
Yeah, all right.
We're in there.
There may be something wrong with the seal.
It's going.
Okay. Stop it right there. Pull out. No. So instead of pulling out when it gets full, pull out right there. It'll drop a little lower because we're putting that carbonation tablet in there.
Yes, Papa.
Yes, you got it.
Well, those going to fit down in that? We're going to have to crush them up.
I don't know. We'll find out.
I didn't think about the flip top bottle being a little narrower than
Yeah. Has anyone in the chat made a carbonated mead with the carbonation tablets? I'm curious.
Is that more like it?
Yeah, that's more like it right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. It's a snug fit.
And then what we'll do is we'll let these sit for a couple of weeks. Then we'll pop one open and see if it's carbonated. See how well it worked. It works for beer.
Harry Ball 68 2.0. I don't know about that, man. I don't know if I can get on board with that. Okay.
All right. Pay attention.
God, dog, dude. Harry Ball 68 2.0 over on ban that guy. I just ran over. God dog, dude.
Frank says, FedEx me a bottle. Can't do that, Bubba. Can't do that.
Just dripping off into this one that's full to the brim. I'll take a little bit of that out for us here.
All right.
Thanks.
And this is
Harry
just
Ball
a
6820.
He says, I sincerely used corn sugar.
Dude, saving my ass. Sorry, I was emptying this one a little bit.
This is just a straight honey mead, just honey and water and yeast. Nothing fancy about this one.
Yeah, that's just it's kind of convenient. I've tried that before. It's like just a nice, clean, unflavored honey mead.
So Christy is asking if this would work for vodka. It will not work for vodka, and that has to do with the alcohol tolerance of yeast. So once you've made vodka, yeast is not going to consume any sugar that you would put in a vodka because the alcohol is too high. The yeast that we use for...
Oh my God. Hold on. Sorry. Every now and then this is catching.
Yeah, I got you. The yeast tolerance for this yeast that we used is 18%. When we bottled these, this recipe comes out at about 10.5%. So there's still some alcohol tolerance left to play with. And hopefully, I can't remember if I neutralized this yeast or not.
I don't think so.
Hopefully I didn't. Because if I neutralize the yeast, then this isn't going to work at all. And we're just going to have a layer of sugar down in the bottom. We'll have some sweet mead.
Well, and I will say earlier, I pulled the stopper off that, and there was a lot of pressure built up. So I don't think it was neutralized. Could have been, but I don't think so. Yeah, we're running out of bottles, man.
Florida Shine says, from what I know, yes, you can ship wine. I mean, I think. LOL. I can order it. Yeah, we don't have any kind of licensing to do that kind of stuff, so we are not allowed to.
We don't do that, man.
Can you guys hear the karaoke going on next door? I'm just curious. Like, it comes through when I'm talking.
Dude,
You're not talking, they can.
That guy that's screaming Kings of Leon's Sex on Fire.
He is rocking it over there. Kind of glad this is the last bottle.
God, dude. what a mess we're making. Stuck, dude.
Roseanne says your assistant's going to get plowed before you're done.
No shit.
My assistant. Did you hear that?
They know it's a pecking order around here. That's fine. Dang, dude. I'm drinking a lot of mead bottling this. That's the last one there.
Don't have enough bottles.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you want me to do here?
Yeah, just run it out in there. That's fine. You're getting it. Too drunk to karaoke. Roseanne says, I was wondering what that was. Yeah. Joe Goodman is back in the house. Good to see you, brother.
All right.
Yeah, that'll work.
Looky there.
Yeah, so either this is going to work, and I didn't neutralize the yeast in that batch, and this is going to carbonate, and we'll have some fizzy mead, or I did neutralize the yeast, and this is not going to work, and we're going to have some semi-sweet mead. So either way, it's going to be fine. Set that back over there, brother.
Right on back over here. There we go. Well, look at the dam. You like that?
You just washed that yesterday.
I know. Right back into the old. Silver said, make some whiskey. Brother, we're doing it. We are. Look at that back there. Got the alternative can back there. That way we don't.
Need to bump that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You making any mash currently? So currently we have more.
We're always making mash.
Straight corn liquor. We have a batch of the super simple beginner's recipe going, and I'm about to start a double batch of the rye bourbon. And yeah.
GWR or what?
No, the rye bourbon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The all grain rye bourbon recipe, which is a little bit different than the George Washington rye. It's lighter on the rye. So the George Washington rye has 8 pounds of rye in it. The rye bourbon recipe has 2 pounds.
So
A lot lighter on the rye.
I'm not a big rye whiskey guy in general. The GWR I like though. The George Washington I like. So I think kind of maybe the aspect of going a little lighter on the rye and seeing what you get. Maybe it's just kind of more of a footnote than like, so that could be pretty tasty.
Yeah, and it's also lighter on the rye because it's a bourbon. So George Washington rye can't be a bourbon because it's mostly rye, and a bourbon has to be mostly corn. So just a technical difference. So yeah. We've got 29 folks in the chat right now, I think.
Over on YouTube. And then we've got
42.
42 over on
on the
TikTok.
TikTok.
Welcome
Awesome.
in. Welcome in. Enjoy the brand. We are spilling, we're just got done bottling a honey mead that we're trying to carbonate, this little carbonation tablet in there. I spilled a lot of it on the table, a lot of it on me, a lot of it down my throat.
Yeah, so we're spilling a lot of mead, hoping to bottle some. And
we're about to do a giveaway for the Distiller's Toolkit. Comes with a lot of cool stuff: test tube, hydrometer, triple scale, pH meter, thermometer, all kinds of cool stuff. Everything you need to get a little bit more scientific about your liquor.
Yep. Now we are going to be doing the guessing game on every jar that we pull off the still, but we're only going to do the contest on one jar.
Only on one.
And that'll be coming up a little later, probably in the third segment. We're going to have an intermission. How far are we from intermission number one, boss?
We want to do an hour? Hour post.
Yeah, we'll go hour in. 6.
12 minutes.
So we're probably going to do an intermission here in about 12 minutes, so we can go drain our bladders.
I may or may not change shirts.
Zach's going to go take a shower.
Look at that. Shit I go through for you guys.
Drummond Son is back. Good to see you.
Kay said, Beech Grove, Indiana. Shout out. Kay, I don't know if that was your accent, but that's how I like to imagine your accent maybe was.
So you don't use a thumper, asks Silver over on TikTok. So normally I don't. I prefer not to use a thumper. This still doesn't even come with a thumper. The Olympic stills are thumper free. And so, no, we're not using a thumper.
This still is designed to be very simple, very traditional. There's videos over on my TikTok of me putting one together, and it's, like
well,
3 pieces.
Yeah, it's very easy.
Yeah.
Very simplistic design, very tried and true design. So
yeah, it's a cool setup for sure. Very pretty.
Yeah. Paul says spilling and distilling. Yeah, that's pretty typical for a Thursday night around here.
I can't imagine. Maybe there's been one, but I don't think that there's been just too many of these damn things that we've done that there hasn't been a certain amount of loss. Whether it's, my personal dignity, whether it is we're spilling a little on the table, spilling a little out of the jar, we're spilling something. Normally. Most times.
Most of the time. Yeah.
If things go right.
So Silver is now asking, what is the benefit of having a thump keg? Does it make that much of a difference?
It depends.
The answer always starts with it depends. My opinion on the thumper is the benefit, it raises the proof up. If that's something you want, if you want to get a little bit higher proof, it does do that because it's basically a second distillation. So you have the distillation that's happening in your pot. Vapor goes into the thumper and another distillation happens there. So you're getting a little bit higher proof. You're getting a little bit cleaner liquor and you're getting a little bit less flavor. So it depends on what it is you're after. Are you after the most flavor or the cleanest liquor or the highest proof? So to ask, does it make that much of a difference? It does make a difference, and it depends on what it is you're after, whether you want to choose to use a thump keg or not. That's my opinion on it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's different setups, and I don't know. A thumper seems like one of those keg components that everyone kind of knows about or knows a little bit about and sees them, obviously, and they're real popular. Like some of the bigger still makers, and some of them maybe very well in one or both of the chats. We're friends with some people that build stills for a living, and some of their kits or some of their keg setup or whiskey still setups come with thumpers.
Yeah, and most of them design the still in such a way that you can remove the thumper if you want. So you can use it or not use it.
Yeah.
And Roseanne brings up a point too. You can infuse extra flavor by adding flavorful things in the thumper. And there are some nuances to that even. But originally, the thumper really only served one purpose. Like when moonshiners were back in the woods and they were making their moonshine, the thumper had one purpose, and it was to regulate temperature. That was all it was for, because they were cooking with wood fire. So you stick a log on, the fire kind of builds up, the temperature in the pot gets a little hotter, and then it burns down. And then the fire burns down, and as it burns down, the temperature drops. So they had all these fluctuations within the pot. But once you put that line arm over into the thumper temperature is regulated and stays a lot more constant, so that they could, they could control their flow rate with the thumper.
Yeah,
and that's what it was originally for. And now, like Roseanne said, now most people use it to try and pass more flavor on to the final product.
Yeah. Lucky D said it sounds like someone's getting tortured in the back room. Brother, maybe. Maybe.
Might have to take your TikTok live camera and just go over there and sing a song.
We'll give you guys, well, I don't know. Well, we may work something out where we show you exactly what it is we've got going on over here. Silver over on TikTok asks, how do you know how much heads to throw out? Famous line from us. Depends.
Yeah.
What are you running? What was the ABV of the mash in your pot? What kind of mash was it? What kind of still are you running on? It's just so different depending on whatever you're running through your still.
Yeah.
Not really a good way to answer it almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so what I've done is I've developed a process for learning how to make your own cuts, because there's a few things to remember. People are terrified that they're going to kill themselves or make someone go blind if they don't do their heads right, or some people call it foreshots. That's not something you have to worry about. I have many videos about that. Go look them up. You've got videos about it on your TikTok. But it also, the biggest thing about it is really just your preference and what you taste. And do you like what it is you're tasting? And there's a process that you can practice making your cuts and learn a way to make the cuts based on your taste buds and your preferences. And we've done, I think we did a segment about that in one of the live streams. I know I made a full video on this process of letting your jars breathe overnight, coming back, starting in the middle, starting your tasting, work your ways to the tails, come back to the middle, work your ways to the head, and find the parts that you like and don't like, remove the parts that you don't like, and then now you have decided how much heads to throw out.
Well, and here's what I want to clarify too. When I'm telling you, whether it's on TikTok or over on YouTube, that like, do not throw your heads and tails away. I'm not saying keep them in your run, keep them in your final product of your finish, whatever you post season or, whatever you decide to put in a jar and share with friends and family. What I'm telling you is, yes, the heads and the tails of various runs can be undesirable, unflavorable, like, have that wet cardboard or have that acetone type, When I'm telling you to keep them, I'm telling you keep them because you can run them later and do a full separate thanks run with them. You can produce more alcohol. I'm not telling you, hey, keep these so that you can keep them in your final product. I feel like some people, that's maybe lost on some people. Mm-hmm. I'm also telling you too, around a lot of moonshiners, never seen a blind one.
No,
I've never seen a blind one.
No,
and I met one.
And I know moonshiners who keep the entire run.
Yeah,
they don't toss any of it.
Right.
And so,
flavor be damned. I mean, not what we're talking about here, but like from a medical like health. And yes, okay, listen, there's outliers. You can run a Fanks run and keep your heads and tails from that, and run another Fanks run and keep your heads and tails from that. If at the end, when you've got all these compressed heads and tails and you try to run that, do you get to a point where you get an abnormal amount of methanol or,
Yeah, you're stacking the methanol at that point. Yeah.
So yeah, there are crazy situations where you can get in to where that's the case, but it's almost like there needs to be a concerted effort to get to that point and that level in that run.
Yeah, if you are going to hurt someone with methanol, it's almost as if you tried.
You tried. You compress run after run after run, and you compile them all into one jar, and then you proof them down, but maybe not as much as you're. Oh,
thank you, chat.
That looks like maybe a good guess to proof. I bet here's what's going to happen, chat. I bet that we are going to go. I bet we're going to take this intermission here at 6. Everyone's going to get up. They're going to go pee. They're going to get ready and geared up to come back. And I bet what is going to happen is that either this jar here or this next jar that's on is going to get a hydrometer drop down in it. And one of you guys is going to end up going home with a pretty sweet distiller's toolkit. That's what I think is going to happen. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. People are saying if you guess the right proof, you could get for free the distiller's toolkit. I don't know. You like that?
Try it. I loved it. Loved it. Your test jar is over there.
But I think we should go to our intermission here in 1 minute because we're getting right up on it.
Come do the all right.
Let's do it.
All right, we're going to go to intermission.
We're going to sign off on TikTok. I'm going to start the live back up here in about 5 minutes or so, 3, 4, or 5 minutes, somewhere in there. So brief break, and then we'll be right back.
Prohibition 1920s in there. What? This is jar number 3, brother. 4. Or jar number 4, sorry.
Y'all think about it, crunch the numbers. And we'll see you guys here back shortly. 5 minutes. And we're back. Look at that. Short intermission. I've still got my coat on. Peel that thing off. There we are. Back live on TikTok. Yeah, short little intermission.
Right.
Hope everyone handled their business there. I think we're gonna proof this one down, and we are gonna do. Let's do. You want to do a smaller? You want to do a koozie giveaway on this one?
Sure.
Let's do a koozie giveaway. Little skin in the game for you guys. TikTok, YouTube. We're gonna proof this out, and we are gonna do a guess the proof. Closest to the proof, first one to guess the proof is gonna get a little care package from us. We'll get you a koozie, little something nice,
little something. All right, and there's a little bug in there and everything.
Look at that. Scott Bryant's 124. Drummond Sun Live 125. Guess
There's a lot of guests on up there too. 121, 119.
Oh yeah, look at that.
131,
123, 131. Don't double guess on someone. 124, 120. Matt Perry 124 is already being guessed. Paul McKinney at 120. Head infection.
Yeah.
What is your channel about, brother? What do you got going on over there?
Are you going to shake for us? Okay, give me a lid and a ring, and we'll do a shake.
Let me go get a ring.
122 says Tony. And yeah, we'll do a shake test. I want to get that gnat or whatever that is out there.
122, 118, 126. DMW 117. Brian Reitenmeyer 116.
All right, here's a shake for you.
A little shake. Look at there. Big bubbles. Got some little bubbles that hang out. What's that tell you? You proof guessers.
I'm not real good at the bubble thing.
Some of them are pretty slick at it. I gotta give it to them.
The Iron Duke says, who cares?
Fair enough. Richard Briner Jr. Bloodwood is medicinal for stomach problems, blood problems, and malaria. Thank you. Thank you, Richard.
All right. Little piece of information I did not know.
About 100. You know what I'm going to do, Kevin Hoban from YouTube? About 100. I'm going to give you 101 and 99.
Pretty 1131.
Okay. 131. All right. Let's give it just a few more seconds here. I'm going to get two more guesses. Two more guesses, and then we'll do it.
Anyone's coming in. We got 39 folks in the chat.
We're going to be sending you guys a little package out. The winner of this Guess the Proof is going to get a pretty slick little Stone Clear bottle koozie.
A Homebrew Center koozie.
A Homebrew Center, excuse me, rather. Homebrew Center koozie.
I'm out of the Still in the Clear koozies.
We'll get back on that.
All right, I think that's it.
That's it.
There's no more guesses rolling
No
in.
more
This
guesses.
was 118. And I saw 118 up there somewhere.
118. Matt Perry. Let's scroll up. Make sure there was no one up above him.
The first person to have guessed 118 is the winner. Winner.
We're digging them out here.
Looks like Matt Perry.
Matt Perry. Congratulations, brother.
Matt Perry. So
how's he get a hold of you?
So Matt Perry, go to stillintheclear.com. On the homepage, upper right-hand corner, there's a little button that says Contact Cyrus. Send me your email or email me and send me your shipping address, and I will ship you a koozie. Just put a little note in the email that says, I won the koozie. And I'll ship that out to you tomorrow.
Good guess on there, buddy. All right, we've got jar number 4 here at 118.
Iron Duke says, gone midnight here. These two look like I feel.
How
So
you feel good,
pretty
brother?
happy.
You feel good, brother?
Feeling righteous. So the first jar number 1 was 129, jar number 2 was 130, jar number 3 was 127, and then we had a big drop to 118 on jar number 4. What it tastes like, I haven't even tasted it. Tasted it tomorrow usually is what I do, but
Just to satisfy you, brother.
just
Because you're a good member of the tribe here, I'll let you know. Real clean smell.
Roseanne says, check your hydrometer, it lies. Well, but I mean, it could be a little bit different because I'm not taking a temperature. I'm not adjusting for temperature, but this is how we do the contests.
Oh, man.
I mean, what do you think?
That is, I don't want to, if you're going to.
Well, we're definitely into the hearts.
100%, yeah.
That is exactly what I expect corn liquor to taste
Good
like.
corn liquor.
It's just a corn liquor. I know Prohibition, you've made a bunch of it, I'm sure. So that's exactly what you expect
That
out of like jar number 1 of the hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, real clean, got a good smell to it, super clear visually, and yeah, just good clean part of the hearts.
Yeah, Taylor, this is a corn liquor run, and it is what I call a sugar mash because we used the corn to steep the flavor from the corn, and then we added sugar, and we added. Oh no, that's not this one. That's the next one.
Yeah, the one.
So this one was regular table sugar. We've got another batch that has 100 pounds, literally, of dextrose in it.
So much.
So
2 big old 50-pound sacks.
probably the most expensive regular corn liquor sugar mash I've ever made.
Yes.
Dextrose is not.
That's a high dollar. I think what are we calling it? The Cadillac corn run?
Cadillac
something
corn
like
run.
that.
Yeah.
Distiller Woody asks, what type of corn variety?
It's just a regular old yellow dent corn. That's it.
Nothing too fancy. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel over here. We're just trying to perfect a tried and true, you know, same thing that a bunch of old boys have been running for a whole long time.
Iron Duke asks, when are you going to make a malt? That's definitely on the dry erase board for one of the runs coming up, and I'll be getting with you, Iron, on doing that.
Yeah, we've got some cool things potentially coming up that we're going to be distilling. I don't always like to share too far ahead in advance, but you know there could be some weird things potentially entering the whiskey still. Mm-hmm. Some cool weird ferments, maybe some beer, maybe some, you know, who knows? Some as they call them, meme recipes. Some meme recipes. Some goofy stuff. Let's think about this too. Let's flesh this out, guys, and let me know in the chat. Give me something that is typically on your dinner plate at Christmas. You've got it. It's left over. You know, what do I do with all this? I can't eat all this. Let's try to ferment with it. What do you guys think? Stuffing? Cranberry sauce?
Cranberry sauce. I mean,
a little stuffing, a little cranberry sauce.
Have to add quite a bit of pectic enzyme for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You guys give us some ideas. We might turn one of your ideas into a future live. That'd be a cool, fun little honey ham down.
Bearded asks, did he miss the proof? I guess probably you did. It was 118 for jar number 4.
118. Okay, DMW over on YouTube is saying some dressing. Get some dressing in the pot. That could be cool. Dressing shine.
Yeah.
Sweet potatoes, Matt Perry says.
Cutchasidin. Treasure Island Bionics parts is all I want in my life, and pirate drone ships to break away. I mean, I was thinking that just before we started the live. I was thinking that thought.
I think it every night before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I think that exact sentence that you just typed into the chat. Tony said pecan pie. Ooh.
Yeah. That was,
yeah, Shua did
Shua
one.
did a pecan
blended
pie.
one. He threw one in the blender and like post flavored with it.
yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Tyler Carson asks, what's the ABV at the end? Now, typically, I will proof my corn liquor to like between 100 and 110.
Yeah.
That's usually what I do corn liquor at.
Iron Duke said curried
Which
chicken.
would be 55% ABV.
Duke, is curried chicken some kind of traditional Christmas breakfast over there across the, or dinner across the pond?
Curried chicken, like spicy chicken, like curry.
I guess so, like an Indian curry chicken.
Yeah.
They are, you know, the Indian cuisine has taken off over in like London and, you know,
For 100 years.
yeah. That's not a new thing, you're saying? Okay. Been around for a while.
It's new to Arkansas hillbillies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like curry. I love Indian food. My first date with my wife was at it was at an Indian food place that is still around and still attached to a gas station. Amazing Indian food. If you're from around where we are, you know who and what I'm talking about. Pickles, Terry. pickle whiskey. It'd be nice.
Taylor says, how to still blow up. Don't put fruit in the thumper without cheesecloth. Yeah, you don't want to clog
Build
up
a
lines
plug.
in a thumper
Build a
because
plug.
that'll build up some pressure. Blew the bottom out of it, had 20-foot flames. What?
Oof. DMW said candied walnuts. Man, I love. Man, there's something there too. Like, you know, every time you go over to like your grandma's house, or you know you're around for family Christmas time, and there's that mixed assorted nut bowl.
Mm-hmm.
What are the ones? I don't know what their scientific name is, but there is a big nut that you can crack. It's in that assorted nut bowl. It's like a big kind of
Lighter colored, like a walnut.
like a husk almost on it. I don't know what they're called. It's like a big macadamia nut almost.
Brazil nut.
Brazil nut. It's a Brazil nut.
It's got a colloquial name. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say that.
It's got a name that
In Brazil, they call it the nut.
yeah. And then we'll get out of that. Hazelnut, corn, bearded bear, that's it. Brazil nut, walnut, yeah, we're all on the same page. The fiber one, that's what I think of every time, because they have that thick, like they have this like big fibery husk on them. They're great.
I didn't eat all, like I always just picked out the pecans.
I was digging cashews out of there. Cashew was my preferred. The pecans are nice though, but they're so hit or miss of whether you can get them out of that thing in 80 pieces or 2.
Ever had cashew butter?
Yes.
Cool. Golly, we're on the nut train right now. I don't mind it.
Garrett said the same thing you did. In Brazil, do they just call them?
Probably, yeah.
All right, so we bottled all of our mead. We'll find out.
Here's what we could do.
Walk in here one day with mead all over the floor, and we'll see.
Yeah, we owe it to you guys if we flip top bottled that mead and we carbonated them to try to get like a fizzy kind of, you know, light bubbly mead. We're going to see how that goes for us. But there's the potential that we could walk in here tomorrow morning to an absolute mess. If that happens, you guys will be the first to know. We'll shoot a little video, put it on short. Yeah,
Look at this mess.
be a YouTube short, be a TikTok video. We'll let you know what happens.
Yeah.
But I think what I want to do is I want to slam the rest of the mystery bottle, which we figured out was apple,
It's
right?
apple. Yeah, for sure.
It is an apple that didn't get completely all the way shut off before it was bottled, and so it was a little light, a little fizzy, kind of maybe a little off sour, like
A little bit. Not the
kind of
best,
a cider.
not the best bottle.
Yeah, but if that was sweetened, if that had more sugar in there that hadn't got eaten
Kind
somehow,
of ciderish.
yeah, it's closer to a cider. I think we opened this bad boy up. Look how pretty this bottle of raspberry mead turned out.
Her tea.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And tastes great.
I am.
We opened one of those last week, right? Or the week before?
I think maybe the week before. Bill Irwin from YouTube asks, do you think adding copper rolls to the column takes away any flavor?
Yes, I do.
Well, you're
Only
packing it and
because-
you're reflexing, and so it's more.
Yeah, only because you're raising the proof. And anytime you raise the proof, you lose flavor. It's just, that's what happens.
You're getting.
I should say, that's what happens when I raise the proof. I lose flavor. There may be some people out there that know a trick to keep all your flavor and raise the proof, and I've never been able to do it.
Possibly, maybe, but at the same time, on that same token, if you were going to have more flavor at a lower proof, which you certainly would, it only makes sense, right? You're raising the proof, you're raising the alcohol by volume, and so you're getting more of an alcohol element into your final product. I mean, it only makes sense. You're reducing the amount of even potential flavor that
Right.
there's room for.
Right, because the flavor is not in the alcohol. The
Right.
flavor is in the water.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're allowing less of that to get through. So yeah, you're reducing the flavor at that point.
Taylor asks, so copper makes more proof? Not necessarily, but packing the column will make more proof. And so you can pack the column with ration rings. You can, what are you pointing at? I don't
Just
know what you're doing.
the corkscrew.
Oh, sorry.
Wine opener.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you can pack the column with copper, stainless, what is the ceramic, glass marbles, but packing the column raises the proof. Copper, it's not necessarily the copper that raises the proof.
Oh, here's a great question from YouTube that is, I will say, extremely typical of this time of year and climate. Richard Henderson asks, so question, started a new ferment 2 days ago. It was going crazy, and today I noticed much slower action. Temp of mash is around 78 at the bucket. Should I give it some time and see if it livens back up? Being that you started your ferment 2 days ago, Cyrus?
So it obviously depends on what the mash bill is, what the ferment is, but it would also, like, there's a lot of factors in there that it could be. This time of year, you said it's staying at 78 degrees, so it's not a temperature thing. I would probably assume first that maybe a little yeast energizer might kick it off. And it could also be, especially if it was a low to mid-range gravity, meaning your starting gravity was 1060 or less, then it could be possible that it just flew through that sugar and it's almost done, so it's slowed down. I have had that happen. So, yeah, I think the first thing I would check if I was going to worry about it, I would give it a few days. It might finish out. But if I was going to check anything, you've already done the temperature. The next thing I would check would be pH. If the pH isn't a problem, then it's probably a nutrient problem. And if that isn't a problem, then
Also,
it's just being slow, which happens sometimes.
well, and also you're 2 days into it and you notice it working real hard. And it's kind of, maybe if it's dropped off, could be as to be expected, right? You just had a super happy ferment, ate a whole bunch of sugar real quick, and then just got down to more of a normal level. So if you're seeing your CO2 output that is significantly lower, maybe some pause for concern. But if it's still going well, but just not as well as it was for that little happy period for the yeast. Maybe nothing to worry about at all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it could just be slowing down.
Yeah.
And if that, like, for me, I would give it a couple more days before I even worried about it. Check it in a couple of days, see what is happening.
You said the starting pH was 5.6 and gravity was 1062. Yeah.
Oh, and it was the GWR? Okay. It has just been overexcited at the beginning. It ramped up and was really happy. You created a great environment for the yeast. They've consumed a lot of the sugar, and now the yeast colony is really big, and the sugar that is available to the yeast colony is really small, so it's slowed down. That's all that's happened. Just give it a few days. It's just going slow now. Guaranteed.
P&W Pappy over on TikTok said, I'm wanting to do a tequila run and infuse it with orange. Would an orange puree in the thumper work? Well, one, it certainly wouldn't hurt. It depends on the puree and how much liquid you have in it. You wouldn't want to build a plug in your thumper, you know, but I don't know as far as tequilas go. I'll say I'm much less experienced in those in terms of both mashes and distilling them. So
I think the question is really, what do you mean by will it work? Because you'll be able to distill it and you will have some transfer of that orange puree. It'll be really subtle. And if you mean by will it work, will it be any good, like only you'll know. So
you and your friends,
I would run it and find out.
I know, to answer your, like, if you're still on the fence about even putting it in a thumper because you're worried about whatever, I mean, it's not going to hurt. From what you're telling me, it's not going to hurt you. I don't know your still. I don't know your setup. I don't know what you've got going on. I don't know what mash you're putting in your still to begin with, but no, like, yeah, try it. See.
Yeah. Harry asked, how much honey did you use for that run?
You didn't read his full name, I noticed.
Yeah, I didn't. Over on TikTok, Harry asked, how much honey did you use for that run? So this run behind us, there is no honey. That's a Corn Likker run. If you're talking about the honey mead that we did, it was 2 pounds per gallon. And that was 3 gallons, 6 pounds.
Yep. Jeffrey Bed said, my mashes tend to slow around day 3 or so. They have always gone to 1,000 or 0.999. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and I noticed too, like whether... And again, it depends, but you know, when I'm fermenting a wine or if I'm doing a mash or whatever, you see that Cinderella period, right? Mm-hmm. Where the yeast is real happy and it's just like, oh my gosh, look at this thing, go, go, go. And it slows down, and that, you know, from the outside looking in, that could be discouraging. A lot of times I'll say it ain't. All my ferments, typically, I have a stuck ferment right now that Cyrus is helping me work on and kind of nurse back to health. But historically, well, I have had the same luck and observed the same type activities.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul says, I've had the same recipe and conditions finish in a week and in 2 days. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Like sometimes they just go really slow and sometimes they just go really fast. And there probably is some kind of condition that was different that we're just unaware of, that the yeast were really happy about.
I feel like, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a ferment is somewhat akin to people who try to grow or hunt, like I hunt mushrooms, okay? I hunt morels and chanterelles and oysters and all these kinds of different mushrooms. Well, it's well known in like the mushroom community that all of these things and having a good harvest is dependent on like so many things all at the same time in terms of humidity and ground temperature and all this stuff.
Rainfall.
You'll do the same ferment with the same ingredients 100 times, and you'll hit that little Goldilocks right temperature, you know, perfect amount of, you know, whatever. And I feel like they're kind of akin, like very similar in terms of like just a little bit of change can really kind of affect what you're observing and vice versa.
Yeah.
So nothing to get too distraught about if even if you've done the same recipe several times and it's behaving a little differently. Could be temperature, could be, you know, it could be your batch of yeast too. I always think about that too. Like, you know, Lavalin, for example, they package all these yeasts. Are they truly 100% uniform? Identical? They can't be 100% uniform, right? Like that'd be perfect and nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
So like, what's the variance there? You know, I don't know. All things we sit around and wonder about.
Good to see you here, Rimfire. Glad you made it. Richard says it was a tablespoon of daddy and a tablespoon of FP1, a tablespoon of yeast nutrient. So that's interesting, Richard. So this was this the first time you used the FP1? I remember you talking about getting some. You even shared some with me. I appreciate it.
Yep.
But if this is the first time you've used that FP1, that could be all the difference. That, you know, maybe that FP1 is just an ass kicker. I don't know.
There's guys, I'll say, as of recent, have you noticed more guys coming into the shop and like mentioning it by name? Yeah. It's gotten like real popular real quick.
Yeah.
I feel like
there has been a lot of buzz about it.
Yeah. That said, speaking of buzzes, we've got a little raspberry mead here that was bottled on 12.5. I think we're going to go ahead and try it out for you guys. We've had it before. Full disclosure.
2 weeks ago in the live.
And I recall that it was real good.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me when.
Good.
Huh? Oh, sorry.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that TikTok?
Got a heavy hand.
Have you seen that TikTok where a guy's getting a bottle of wine and he's going,
oh, yeah.
It's like zoomed out and he's filling his own glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Clinton House said, "Hail Joe Parks," and Hail Joe Parks is right.
Yeah.
What a sweet woman. What a wonderful lady. She's the best. And everyone is saying it. Yeah, no, we love you.
Back in the house, Clinton.
Clinton, brother. It was Clinton our Pachuca guy?
Yeah.
Hey, big shout out to Clinton House over on YouTube. He gave us the idea and started kind of getting our chat on the Pachuca. Look at that. Look at your hard work there, Clinton.
We ended up with a gallon at 128 proof, and we hadn't decided exactly what we're going to do with it yet. Maybe I don't know what we're going to do with it.
I'm excited about it.
Sit there for a little bit.
It's for sure. Oh shoot! Look there, Clinton House. I think sent a $20 super chat. Said just because, and last week I couldn't pitch for what we were doing, so here's some makeup, brother. Love that.
And that $20 goes to us buying all the stuff to do this with. So appreciate you.
You're looking at the fruits of your labor, man. Yeah, we appreciate it. We love putting on a good show, a different show for you guys every week, and so yeah, appreciate that, man. Sick. Let's try this, man.
Timmy says, I got some strawberries going now. Put fruit in it got cloudy on me, so got to keep it set a couple.
Hey, brother, we got to get you a secretary set up, man, to proofread these things for you.
Wait,
I know roundabout what you said.
Have I drank too much to be able to read?
Hold on, let me try. Timmy 23 over on TikTok said, I got some strawberry going now, put fruit in it, and got cloudy on me, so got to keep it set a couple. I know all those words independently from one another, Timmy 23, but when you string them together like that, brother.
Oh, that's better than it was 2 weeks ago.
For sure.
Yeah.
Which we suspected, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good one.
You let them
homeschooling.
Your teacher must have been an asshole, man. Joshua Kelly over on YouTube said, y'all ever made a fig brandy? I haven't. Have you?
No.
Someone sent us some figs. Someone.
Clinton's asking, how does it taste after a week? Still the same shroom smell. Let's see.
Oh yeah, the truffle oil. Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that.
It does have the same smell. I haven't.
White truffle oil. And listen, so rum, I've come to find out because I was smelling some rum runs earlier, this one in particular, that we put the wood sticks on earlier for you guys. When you smell this, there is a certain component of this and this, because part of this was a rum wash.
Yeah.
Now,
The largest part.
that said, this is 100% completely different smell-wise from here.
Mm.
I still feel like, one, I can get like some sort of like a rotisserie chicken aroma, which I think smells awesome. It's way weaker now for me than it was, but this is liquor-wise just a super unique, one-of-a-kind smell. The chicken did something, and it was, I mean, I think you're only getting that if you run a chicken in a still.
Oh, I totally agree. Like, I've ran a lot of different things. I've never had that smell.
That's its own thing, man.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Bett said, "You guys need to keep drinking. Y'all make me laugh." No, brother, you've got to keep drinking. That's how and why you're laughing. It could be a little bit of both, but you drinking doesn't hurt our cause here.
It's still got the same characteristics. And here's what I like about it. This is a little bit different than, it has got this kick at the back of the throat that is different from what I would typically call a bite.
Not a bite.
It's different than that.
Hey, here's all this flavor. Here's a little bit different flavor, and then
yeah, it's pretty interesting. I wish I was better at describing flavors and stuff.
it's hard to do.
So to anyone who thought, I might try a chicken thing, you should definitely try it. You should definitely try some pechuga. We're definitely going to make another batch and try and make it as traditionally as possible the next time. That's what I want to do. This is really good. It's still really good 2 weeks later.
You can rewatch us doing that on Still in the Clear YouTube page. You can go back and you can rewatch that whole live. There's some videos of us from start to finish in there. There's videos about it over on my TikTok, but that is really cool, one of a kind, neat run. If you're running the same corn or this or that over and over again, and you just want to do, for me, that recipe and that run is something that you just do as a distiller, because you want to mix it up and do something
different for sure. Yeah.
Your people, everyone we talk to, of course, we're just like, we're here for if you want to come by and taste and that kind of a thing. And but everyone that I think we've talked to about it is like, oh, I don't know about that. Or, they're a little leery of it, right? But it's like, it's not for you, man. It's for me.
Yeah.
but it good taste. I mean, good, clean taste, a rum-like taste given our mash. I mean, that comes through.
Yeah.
But it just, at the end of the day, you can't compare it to anything.
Yeah.
So
and Lucky D says, if people do the chicken, they must also try the chicken.
You got to eat the chicken.
Especially the skin.
Eat your chicken.
You got to try the skin.
You got to eat your chicken. You need your protein. Don't eat the skin. I'll do you this service. Don't eat the skin. You can eat the chicken all day long, and it's like boiled chicken with a little kind of a weird mashy taste. But it's edible. It's fine. It's not. You're not going to yak. But if you eat the chicken,
I'm getting that. That feeling you get when you're about to throw up, your mouth starts watering,
salivating.
It's happening right now just from you talking about that.
Dude, it was rough. Absolutely rough. James over on TikTok said, I've made some good wine, but I've never made any shine. I've always wanted to. Brother, there's no time like the present.
So if you've made wine, you've done the hard part. The fermentation and all of that, that's the hard, like wine is much harder to make than some corn liquor.
Now you can get in, for corn liquor for sure, but like you can get into malting grains and converting starches and stuff like that where it becomes more complicated. But making a wine is the same thing as a lot of what you would cold ferment for to put in a whiskey still. It's just you don't have to wait as long. You wait a couple weeks as opposed to 30, 45 days, and then next thing you know, you're running a still. So it's easier than what you've been doing, depending on what you run. John over on TikTok said, "Hello, gentlemen. How are you, brother? Good to see you. Thanks to everyone joining us via both YouTube and TikTok. We've got 31 viewers in the chat right now over on YouTube, and over on TikTok, we're at
9.
I got a restriction right before we got.
Yes. And you just got restricted again.
And again, from maybe talking about the restriction.
Controlled substances.
Controlled substances, huh?
Yeah.
Which is what?
I'll appeal those.
Yes,
Alcohol. Oh, well, I guess so.
I appealed.
Or it might have been this.
You did?
Maybe it was this.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, I can't remember what I did last time at work.
Maybe it was this in the live.
Oh, God.
I don't know.
In here. They're shooting up bourbon. Lucky D said you use the skin for bear bait. You could use it for something other than what I've used it for so far, for sure. It was tough, rough, didn't taste good. Not what you're looking for in any kind of a meat product. I'll tell you that. Clinton said, I have a big bag of amaranth grain. I want to make a base whiskey out of as well. Don't know how it'll be, but probably a bit earthy from smell of normal. Yeah. I've never done anything with amaranth grain. Have you?
Mm-mm.
Don't know what it is. That's cool. Here's the thing too. Like, you guys see it in our weekly lives. Like, we love trying new stuff. At a certain point, when you've distilled like Cyrus has, I'm relatively new and along the same lines as maybe some of you guys joining the chat, and that I'm just now learning, and I haven't done hundreds and hundreds of runs. So after you do, run after run after run, like, yeah, you want to switch it up or do something different, or
Yeah.
So I don't blame you. I like it.
Lucky says, so you can be a hoe on TikTok, but not talk about liquor.
Doesn't make sense to me, brother.
Apparently.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I don't know what it is. I've got like whatever it is over there, 8,300 TikTok followers, and I'll go live, and it'll be great, and there'll be 100 people in the chat, and sometimes more than that, and then I'll get a restriction that comes through, and it's like, hey, you said I'm not, you obviously can't say them, but there's like some buzzwords that are not bad words. They're words we use in our everyday vernacular. They're not, it's like you're talking about, well, I can't say that either. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm sure you're already.
You're already restricted.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
So
Yeah.
you can say whatever you want.
That's true. Yeah. Damage is done.
Clinton says amaranth equals ancient grain. Apparently there is an E.H. Taylor amaranth grain of the gods bourbon they make. Heck of a name. I agree. That is a great name. Amaranth
Taylor has
grain of the
cool
gods
stuff.
bourbon.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys should wear less clothing. That might make it okay. I mean,
We thought about it.
we thought about coming to the live naked and put a piece of clothing on for every time you guys donate. That
It'd be real quick. We'd be
might
fully
make some
clothed.
money.
We'd be up in our parkas before 5 minutes into the show, probably. Yeah. So, this is. It's going to end up being a cool color. Does it? And again, maybe I'm crazy, but doesn't it look like there's a little bit of a tinge to it?
Yeah,
that
it's already
wasn't there
started.
before.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Very
crazy? Look at that. Just put this oak on here. 2 different kinds. Charred oak and medium toast.
Medium toast, medium char. Yeah.
Medium toast, medium char, and already somewhat yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Been 30 minutes in here or so.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Close.
Getting close on the next jar.
Probably getting up there. 6:45 already. Look at us. Time flies by when you guys are having fun.
These lives are always having. I always wonder if people have a good time watching them as much. Like I have a good time doing them.
I have a good time.
I hope people have as much fun watching as I have doing them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's been pretty cool. My really good buddy, I've talked about him on here before. We did a segment where we talked about old movies, and I talked about my buddy Ronnie Richardson. He's been in the hospital with some health issues, and he's doing better, and he's about to go home. But I found it funny. I walked into his living room one day to go check in on him, and he had our lives up in his living room, and he was like forcing people to watch them. He thought it was so cool, that we were. And yeah. So shout out to Ronnie on YouTube, man. I'm glad he's doing better.
You were famous.
Yeah. He's showing everybody his famous friend, and. But man, what a fighter. Glad he's doing better, and I hope he watches this, and love you, buddy. Paul McKinley said medium toast is my favorite. Yeah. I like the well, and of course I've mainly used them in the wines, but I like the heavy char. And it could be a component too if I've got a large vessel and I'm dropping those things down, and I'm getting a lot more maybe bang for my buck.
All right. Joe Parks asked, how much money do you need?
Why are you planning on doing that? Empty your purse. No.
Richard says, so I checked, pH was 4 and went ahead and took a gravity. Yeah. See, you're done, bro. That's what happened.
Richard R. Briner Jr. on YouTube said, I'm just glad Santa's not here. How do you know he's not, buddy? You been doing good this year?
John has a blast watching. That's awesome. Good job.
Yeah, John's awesome, man. John's over in my chat and TikTok all the time. He's a good dude. I've had him on some of my lives. Typically what happens, and I'm not promising, but typically what happens every Thursday night is we shoot this live video. We have fun. We're in here chatting with you, and then at some point later on, I end up live on TikTok after I get back over to my house, normally in front of the fire, and I hang out with some of you guys that come over and follow me on TikTok, and John's been in my lives after the live show, and
your post-party live,
my post-party live.
Yeah, you were doing that last time.
Yeah. You guys hang around again, it's not a guaranteed thing every time, but it's something that I've kind of been doing somewhat consistently. So yeah, you guys get in there, you guys can come into my live, hang out, talk for a while, chat. Then normally my wife yells at me and says, get off the phone. And then I say, yes, dear, I'm sorry. And I listen to her.
Richard says, Cyrus, I'm sending you a pic to your phone. So my phone is on Do Not Disturb. I won't get it until later, but I'll take a look at it. You fellas mentioned you're making some super simple. This is my third batch. Best tasting liquor I've ever tasted. Get some.
Who said it?
Ralph Hudson.
Ralph Hudson. Thank you, brother.
It is a very popular recipe.
Super.
And, I've had a lot of people say they don't like it. Like I've had people say, oh, I don't like that.
Not for me.
I don't like that sweet feed. And that's, it's everything we make is whether or not you like it is all subjective anyway.
Well, and we've talked about this too. We have some stuff coming up, and part of some of the stuff we have coming up is there's going to be perhaps a competition. And we've talked about the winner of that competition putting their recipe out, and we've kind of went back and forth, and the conclusion is most people who have a prize-winning recipe of some sort won't mind sharing it with everyone. And the reason for that is you think of it in terms of like a famous chef giving out his recipe for some kind of signature dish. I can give you the recipe, but you're not going to be able to make it the way that I make it on my still,
right?
With, under my conditions. And so I think people can take the same recipe and make it probably a million different ways and get a million different results.
Yeah. Let's see. Richard Barber, propaganda, man.
DMW bottle, DMW jar.
Oh, shit. Nice call. Nice call. He's taking care of that. Tony also says, I love the super simple. On my second batch. Awesome.
Oh, man.
Oh, snap, jar check. That was close.
I don't know. Smelling of that jar. I couldn't be 100% that there's any alcohol in it.
What? Dang.
Am I wrong about that?
What the hell? All right, so we're going to do the giveaway on this one.
This is a wild card.
Wild card? Yeah, for sure. So start making your guesses. This jar is for the new Distiller toolkit that we're going to give away. So,
new Distiller toolkit. If you are just joining us, here's what's going to happen. We're going to get the proof off this. We're going to pour it over to a test jar, drop the hydrometer down in it. Someone is going to be the first one to guess the correct proof. If you are that person, and go ahead and start typing your guess in. If you are that person, you're going to get a triple scale hydrometer. You're going to get a test tube. You're going to get a pH meter, a thermometer. Did I leave anything out?
pH meter, test jar, 2 hydrometers.
A tails hydrometer and a triple scale.
Yeah.
So you're going to get 2 hydrometers, a thermometer, a test tube, and a pH meter. We call it the Distiller's Toolkit. It is the link in my bio on TikTok if you're joining us from over there. Also available at distillandclear.com. One of you is going to get it for free. For free. We're going to ship it to you. We're going to congratulate you. Firm handshakes all around. Little bubble test. Look at them.
Meter.
98, 107, 96, 130, 113, 110, 109, 117, 120, 112, 89, 116, 103, 113, 115. Again, if you're the second one to guess a number, no soup for you.
All right. We got a number. Let me see those numbers. And we're going to do one more jar after this.
There'll be one more jar coming up.
Oh, I don't need to put the lid on there.
I'll get ready to document for you on jar number 5. Still rolling in here.
We're going to give you a Venice at 114. So the jar number 1 was 129. Jar number 2 was 130. 3 was 127. 4 was 118. Roseanne changed his.
Still rolling in here.
Let a few numbers roll in before we give you the answer. You guys ever tried smoking meat in a windstorm? Nope.
I love that question.
That's a good one.
It's obviously it's painting the picture of someone who's clearly going through
Right, going through it right now.
Basically, you're saying I'm doing that right now and it sucks. Nate Harris, 112. This is for the big giveaway, the fermenters, or the Distiller's Toolkit.
Jack
Someone's
already
getting
said
one, and
112.
I really hope it's not Bennett.
Jack already said 112. You might want to
It
guess
says
again.
no kink shaming. I mean,
Oh man!
all right. All right, doesn't look like there's any guesses jumping in here.
Going.
Got 40 people in the chat. We only had 20 guesses? All right.
Everyone's coming in over from TikTok, guessing the proof. We're going to give you 30 more seconds. We've got a little bit of a delay. If you are just now coming in, guess the proof of this jar of Corn Likker. And if you get it right, you're going to get the Distiller's Toolkit. Comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff. We'll mail it to you. Just got to get a hold of us and get us a shipping address. Going. 89 proof. Did we have anyone? Roseanne was 88 right off.
DMW at 652, 89.
DMW. Is he on TikTok?
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
DMW on YouTube. Congratulations, brother.
Go to stillintheclear.com. There's a button in the upper right on the main page, on the home page, says Contact Cyrus. That's an email form. Send me your mailing address. I'll ship it out tomorrow. And make sure you put on there, I won the new Distiller Toolkit.
Gets the proof.
And I'll get that shipped out to you. Bennett says, does the Distiller Kit come with how-to videos? Yes. Yeah, 150 something videos on stillintheclear.com.
Pretty crazy.
Or on Still in the Clear YouTube. Yeah. Good call, DMW.
Bennett said, who is Cyrus? I believe Cyrus is an old wooden ship.
Yeah.
Commissioned during the Civil War era.
He was a character in that movie, The Warriors.
Yes.
I want to say it was early 80s, late 70s.
Old Cyrus O'Houlihan.
Right.
Sure.
That's exactly right.
For those of you just joining us, this is Cyrus. I am Zach, ABV guy on TikTok, Still in the Clear on YouTube. Bennett, I'm glad we cleared that up for you, brother. Good hanging out with you guys. Good being here with you. We're distilling. We're trying some meads. We are aging some rum. We are trying some pachuga. We're all over the place tonight.
All over, yeah.
We bottled some mead, carbonated some mead.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Cyrus the Virus from Con Air. Yeah, I get that one quite a bit. I've had people tell me.
That's such a good movie, too, by the way.
I've had people tell me that was how they remembered my name.
Nicolas Cage.
Cyrus the Virus.
Nice.
Yeah.
John Malkovich.
OG Nicolas Cage, just before he became like meme Nicolas Cage, was untouchable. I don't care what anyone says.
Raising on Jedi was one of my favorite movies.
You want to talk shit about John Cage? Don't do it here.
You know he's related to Francis Ford Coppola? That's his uncle.
Didn't know that.
That is a
little bit of extra trivia tonight.
That's going to take some time to process. I didn't know that. Pretty cool. Dude, Con Air. Great movie.
Yeah.
Shout out to Clinton House, Cyrus the Virus from Con Air, bringing that little movie into our life. So, yeah, it's been fun. The drip cam is still hot and heavy over there. I will say you guys have somewhat slacked from letting us know when the job.
That one was close.
That one was close. Look,
that was close.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you guys are waiting for a train wreck to happen. And it's become almost calculated at this point.
I want to mention it whenever I see it, but I also kind of like the chaos.
It's for them.
Yeah, it's for them.
You want the chat to do it?
I want the chat to do it.
Yeah. So what do you guys have running? Let us know in the chat. Like, let's just start spilling the beans. What do you got mashing right now? What do you got running?
What are you running? What do you got making right now? Either fermenting or actively distilling. And then also throw in what's a good meme type recipe for think Christmas dinner, something we can ferment that comes from Christmas dinner. We've had the yams, we've had the stuffing, we've thought about the cranberry sauce. Let us know. Pecan pie has been thrown out there. What are you running? What should we run next?
Bennett says he's fermenting 500 gallons of peach brandy right now. This is a 10-gallon still.
God dang, 200 gallons.
200 gallons. I said 500 gallons before you put the 200 up because I figured I knew he was had.
This is
what he always said.
This is like one of those. I'd compare this to like if you've ever watched an ag podcast,
yeah,
where they talk about like how many heads you run.
Right.
That's like the first.
How many gallons you run?
How many gallons you got fermenting right now? You know what I mean? That's like one of those. It's like some guys like.
How big a still you got anyway? How many acres you got?
Yeah. It's like that kind of a correlation.
You guys want to do it?
Let's do a 7 o'clock intermission. What we'll do is, guys, we're going to take a brief 4 or 5 minute break. What does that mean? If you're watching on YouTube, screen's going to go blurry for a few minutes. We're going to be right back. On TikTok, I'm going to end the live. I'm going to start right back in about 5 minutes. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to get together here and decide what direction we want to go for the rest of the night. And so stay tuned. Be a brief break, and we'll be right back with you.
Ooh, Joe is running a wheated bourbon. I just saw that.
Oh,
so sweet. It's my favorite. Wheated bourbon.
I love that woman.
My jam.
I wish Joe was my grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then it says we'll buy then. All right. All right, guys, listen.
We'll be right back here in about 5 Woods. Backwoods, welcome into the TikTok chat. You caught us right before an intermission. We'll be back in about 4 to 5 minutes.
4 to 5 minutes. We're back live again from Arkansas.
We're back in here.
So we had Backwoods jump in late. What's up, Backwoods? Why are you so late, brother?
Yeah, what took so long?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Nate Harris is fermenting first gen UJSSM. That's awesome.
Yep.
Uncle
UJSSM for everybody.
Uncle Jesse's simple sour mash, very popular recipe.
Oh, Uncle Jesse. Yeah.
Clinton says, I finally ran my 1-year-old rum 2 weeks ago. It came out absolutely bomb. Yeah, I'm going to get with you, Clinton, on the rum stuff over in Moonshine for Beginners. I want to, I saved some of the back set from that easy rum run that we did. Going to make a, shit, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, you make it with a dunder. I'm going to make a dunder with that. Yeah.
Dunder.
And I have so little experience with rum. I need to get some from someone who does rum. I want to find out what the best way to do a dunder is.
Bill Irwin over on YouTube asked, how are you cooling the still? Well, what we've got, and I don't know how well you can see it.
I will use the drip cam. Adam, if you want to blow up the drip cam, and I will show him. So we have this reservoir, which holds 30, 35 gallons of water. There is a pond pump in the bottom, and it's pumping water into the coil, and then water is flowing back out into the reservoir. So we're just recirculating this, and we've got ice jugs to help keep the water cool. It is a bit warm right now. Not too bad, though. It's actually lukewarm, just barely warm. I'm not going to add any more ice because this is going to be the last jar. But that's how we are cooling the coil down. And I assume that's what you meant when you said cooling the still. Clinton Hotch says, muck bucket time. Talking about for the dunder. Yeah. Give me a light glass.
Light glass. Let me go retrieve my, what you call that? Chalice? What's the technical term for this type of a vessel?
I wouldn't know. That's for fancy folk to know.
Someone in the chat, what is this type of glass called? I don't know the name for it.
Yep.
Someone knows what it's called, though.
This is really good stuff. And I think I saw somewhere.
Super good, super clean.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to answer, but I saw someone ask what the ABV ended up on this. And I didn't write it on the label, but
I could take a guess.
Take a guess. I want to see if you're about where I think it is.
I would say this ended up somewhere around 7%.
Oh, I was going to say 9.
Okay.
Seven to 9.
My seven has a three this way and 3. Well, not really 3 the other way, but
okay. Yeah. 7 to 9% probably.
Really clean, really fresh, very light. And so for me, if everything happened well during the fermentation and the formation of this mead, that my 7% of what I think, could be an honest ABV, it could very well be 9. This was clearly a raspberry mead that was done well and that finished out well. You can tell pectic enzyme was used. So you got all of the raspberry flavor to come through, and that helps to mask some of that ABV. So it could potentially be much higher. Yeah.
Hard to say. This is apparently a brandy sniffer.
Brandy sniffer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Google brandy sniffer, see what you get.
Yeah, let's pull that up. We gotta might get some maybe some of you
Beaver sniffer.
Yeah, Google. Would you Google that Dunder sniffer?
Jason says it's a drinking cup. I agree.
Yeah. Those Clinton House said those glasses are Juvail whiskey glasses, good for brandy as well.
Oh, there we go.
No shit.
Juvail whiskey glasses, or brandy sniffer, or
liquor transfer doohickey.
One of them is wrong. I don't know.
Brozan Brohamsky
might be Library Embassy brandy glasses. See, this is why I said this is to know what this glass is a fancy folk thing, because
we're well cultured, as you can all tell. And I would say, yeah, it does kind of like a brandy glass, or you see those, like, I've even heard of the sniffing glass thing before.
I thought the sniffers were smaller.
I think they are.
And they had a shape where this is more uniform. Like I thought a sniffer was like, had kind of like a bell curve.
Narrow nose. Yeah. Like,
but I don't know. Again, I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right.
We have a correction in the chat. It's snifter.
Snifter, not sniffer. Shout out to Shiloh over on
TikTok. I like sniffer better.
Brother, I'll learn from anyone, and I know that I don't know a lot. Snifter, that's a cool little word to put in your vocabulary.
Yeah, snifter. You owe me $5 if I use that in a sentence next week.
Bet.
All right. Drummond Son asks, is that a natural color? I'm assuming you're talking about the mead, and it is.
We don't have any.
Didn't it turn out awesome?
No additives. We've never added any artificial color or anything to anything.
None of the wines, none of the brandies. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just
nothing. No artificial color.
But now that said, there are clarifiers, and there are things that I use in my wine. Cyrus uses in his meads, like. Beyond racking, I would say that I'm a stickler when it comes to color and clarity on my wines. I'm pretty particular on what ends up actually being a wine and doesn't get poked in a still. And it's got to not only taste really good, but it's got to have a really pretty color. And I use the 2-part clarifier that we sell here.
It just works so well and so fast,
dude. It's just so quick. Like, as opposed to having, like, first off, no taste, nothing in terms of changing the flavor of the wine, and what you accomplish in 72 hours, what would probably take you 2-3 months of like racking and clarifying. It's so much loss too at that point that you've racked so many times and you've had a bottle or so left in the bottom of a 6-7 gallon carboy. And
that the 2-part clarifier, which is just chitosan and quisosol, it works so well.
I couldn't say either one of those. I've read them in the instructions 100 times, but I don't think I've ever said them out loud.
Right. David Anderson says, drink it out of the jar, and you won't worry about the glass.
Bennett said, no glycerin, laughing face emoji. Bennett, after this live, brother, you hang out long enough, I'm going to get after you with no glycerin. How you feel about it?
Nah. Y'all so smart.
Bennett's my guy over on TikTok. He's a good dude. If y'all don't follow him already, you need to go over there and follow him. He's got some cool stuff, and he apparently makes 200 gallons of peach mash at a pop at a time.
Yeah,
those are some big league numbers there.
Mitch says, "Love the Cardinal shirt."
Well, thank you, Mitch. I got this at a vintage store up in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Yep,
it's from the 80s, as far as I know. But yeah, I like it too, man. Thank you.
Pretty cool.
Back was giving Bennett some love in the chat. Hi, Hollywood.
Bennett is Hollywood.
Right. Y'all let Bennett in the chat know. Hey, you probably already know him, right? But he's been on. I'm not gonna. I don't know what I can say.
You can say he recorded an episode of Master Distiller, which has not aired yet, and that's all he's allowed to say about it.
Hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bennett's big timing.
Walmart only had so many sliced peaches and heavy syrup.
You end up. What do you end up using? Like you talking about the gallon like 10? Is he fucking with me?
I'm reading Matt.
Oh. Using this, she smells good. I sniffed her. Matt Perry over on YouTube said, used in a sentence, she smells good. I sniffed her. 2-pound cans. Bennett, there ain't no way you made. Here's what I'm gonna say, Bennett. There ain't no way you run 200 gallons of peach mash off 2-pound cans. You didn't sit there and open that many. I just know it's
4.
A 2-pound can is not yeah.
What was it? Like 800 pounds? 800 pounds of peaches?
200, 4, yeah.
If you're doing 4,
yeah.
Gallon.
He didn't do it.
Crazy. Oh, and sugar.
I'll say this, Bennett. Hey, don't believe you.
We always say that to him.
Don't believe you.
Every time he comes in here, we say that.
I'll clarify it with you after. We'll do the live after this TikTok live that I normally do over at the house, and I'll ask you in person on video. But I'm going to say right now, don't believe you.
I can smell the tails from here. Can you smell?
Your sniffer is like, no, I couldn't smell. I'm telling you right now, like, I can get my nose up to that jar and I'll get it, but I can't from this far away. No. That said, as soon as I took a big inhale, I bet it's like
42 proof.
I'm going to take the over.
We're deep.
I'm going to take the over on 42.
You're going to take the over on 42?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What do we got on this? Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of cases of canned peaches.
Yeah, he's bullshitting everyone. Yeah, it took 4 hours. And first off, no, it didn't.
I don't think he is bullshitting.
He's lying to you. I'm protecting our chat. Not true.
Every woman in Walmart asked me my pie recipe. That's funny. We got 41 folks in the chat.
Up in YouTube. How many over you are to post restriction?
33.
Okay, I don't know what's going on there.
Not bad.
That's a medium level. It's clearly like, don't even get me started. We'll handle TikTok. We've got some appeals to file, all kinds of stuff over there. But Distiller Woody have an IBC tote fermenting of peaches plus 5 50-gallon drums going. Good Lord. And it's almost becoming a how many head you run situation.
How many head do you run? Yeah.
Some more than others.
So we got 42 people in the live right now. I would love to know who's watching the live right now, that this is your first time watching the live. That would be crazy. Jump in the chat and give a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever. Just jump in the chat. Let me see how many people are in the live right now that this is your first time in the live.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Mitch says me.
We have Mitch over on TikTok. Appreciate you, brother. Welcome.
Joe Goodman, 55 gallons split between 2 barrels. Distiller Woody, first time. Bennett.
Yeah, we're trying to gauge some metrics here. We normally our numbers are fairly well consistent.
Yeah.
And so we're just kind of gauge who's here with us for the first time, and then who shows up with us week after week. Obviously, there's a few of you we know.
Yeah, and if you're in the live and you're having a good time and you're thinking, these guys, what the hell? If you're enjoying it, then go ahead and subscribe either over on TikTok or YouTube. If you're on YouTube, set up your notification. You'll get a notification every Thursday when we go live, and then you don't miss anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always wondered, because we always have
between over on TikTok,
on YouTube, 25 to 40 people in the chat, and I've always wondered if those are just
and TikTok's
the same people every week.
TikTok's 7 to 200. TikTok's a wild place, man.
Yeah. Then it wants a personal text just from you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, buddy. Hey, well, why don't you get honest about those peaches? Those 2-pound cans you're talking about, buddy.
Clinton says jars at about 600, so we're almost there on the jar.
Dude, Clinton shouted that out in milliliters.
Yeah.
Clinton, wait, hold on. Clinton, where are you from, brother? Johnny said, I love the live, man.
Oh, thank you, brother.
That's awesome, dude. Cool. Appreciate that. He shouted out milliliters. I thought he was from, like, Florida.
Do what?
A quart's a liter. Not a quart jar.
Dude, it is a quart.
Milliliters is just an... Is it...
So it's 1,000.
Okay.
60%.
All right.
A quart
I
is a
think he's
liter?
from Florida. For real, Clinton's from Florida.
I think you're off. I think you're off. How many milliliters in a quart? You guys run the still every live doing something different? We are always doing something different. We're not always, we probably have ran the still like.
We've had a still.
Well, we did a mash.
946.
946. I didn't think so.
946 what?
Milliliters in a quart.
Oh.
We did do a week where we made a mash.
Pretty much every week.
But almost every week we're running the still. Yeah.
Like, we have a situation go, the wall behind us is a laboratory of sorts of different storage of things and ferments. And there's just always a lot going on here. And I think typically pretty much every week we try to be running the still doing something,
Yeah,
whether it's a double run or a feints run or some stuff we've already run before that we're just running again. We try to get the still going for you guys. But you know, if there's a big enough thing going on a certain week, maybe we won't run it, but typically every week we run the still.
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, I'd say.
When working with baking and cars, you're always going to have to do damn metric. Yeah. Honestly, I wish I was better at metric. It really is kind of crazy that America is the only place in the world that uses the.
Well, it does make it, I'll say it makes us look like assholes.
Right.
Yeah.
But and again, this is maybe the asshole mentality. I take a little bit of pride in that.
Yeah.
And I have at certain times refused to use the metric system. Almost failed a class in college.
Yeah, I don't.
Not really, but
The hard part is like, here's the hardest part for me. Like when I'm writing articles and a lot of times in videos and I'm talking about temperatures and it's always in Fahrenheit and people around the world want me to do Celsius.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like I could, but that's a.
Hold on. What is Kelvin?
Kelvin?
Yeah.
Kelvin's a temperature.
Kelvin's a temperature scale, right? There's Fahrenheit and Celsius. What is Kelvin?
So 1 degree Celsius is 1 degree, or is 1 Kelvin.
Mm-hmm.
So they move at the same scale, but Kelvin is scaled way down because Kelvin is where they found absolute zero.
I love this show. I learn something new every week.
I can't remember exactly.
That didn't even.
Can't remember what absolute zero is in Celsius or Fahrenheit, but it's extremely low, like -300-400 something.
Yeah, that didn't even make any sense to me.
Yeah, don't worry about Kelvin.
That's like,
Look at that oil there.
oh yeah, very oily, isn't it? Smell it. Take a big gulp of that. Then it says retirement is great. I bet it is. I'm not sure I ever get to.
Now, I will say, you said take a big gulp of that, and I did.
Right?
It's
All right.
It's
so
really-
this is out.
It's really, I don't think there's going to be, I'll say this. I haven't stuck even a hydrometer close to here. I'm going to write my guess down here.
Hand me the hydrometer.
Before the hydrometer even touches my hand. All right. Guess approved. I'm going to guess.
All right. Mitch says 47.
Just off a taste.
78. 69. Yes, the proof.
Just off the taste here.
Bubba, you wasn't far off.
Yeah, I was a little bit off though.
That's not far off on a taste test.
No, I mean I don't know that that's necessarily tails either.
What? I can smell them. You don't think that's tails?
Taste it.
All right. That's definitely tails.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've got the better. Obviously, you have the better palate. We've already established that in previous lives.
Yeah. That's.
You can get it in there. I'm getting it in there. Like
Yeah.
I can pick it up, but it's not so much that I'm like.
It's not as bad as
time if I
it was.
blended it in.
It's not as far deep into the tails as I thought it was going to be by the smell.
Yeah.
All right. Here's a little shake test for y'all.
31, 35, 53. What do you mean?
I guess.
Bennett said 58. Bennett ain't running over 200 pounds of peaches with that 58. Yeah, oh, there comes Bennett with a more realistic guess there.
All right. We got any more guesses coming in?
This is going to be jar
Flatland Hillbilly. I like that name.
number 6.
Great handle.
5, 4, 3, 2.
81. It was much higher than I thought it was going to be.
Well, and here's my
And I
guess.
saw somebody had guessed it.
Yeah, so we've got Bill Irwin at
Bill
77,
Irwin.
said 81.
Bill Irwin on YouTube or TikTok?
Yes, on YouTube, Bill Irwin.
Bill Irwin on YouTube. Congratulations, man. This was my guess, 73.
Yeah.
Off just tasting it and smelling it, and so you guys are guessing more accurately without even tasting and smelling. I thought it was going to be a little bit lower, which tends to back up kind of what I thought is you're not as far deep into the tails as what I would have guessed, maybe.
Yeah. If you want to order, you go to stillintheclear.com.
Is this
Although I'm thinking what you want to order is probably not on the website.
Jack Longberry 72. Why is that highlighted? That's cool. Yeah, it's highlighted. Pretty neat.
On our side, yeah.
Didn't know we could do that. Yeah, you guys are rock solid. Good guessers. Dalton.
So
What does that account about you?
we're going to be,
Look at that, just that profile picture on TikTok. Star Dalton.
I don't know.
What do you think that's about?
I'm not trying to guess.
Seems provocative.
A little bit. So before we get off the live, because this was going to be our last jar,
Last jar.
let us know what kind of mash do you want us to do to run on a live.
Yeah.
I already know Iron Duke wants me to do a single malt, which I want to do a single malt.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
How do they make? Okay. How do they make malt liquor? Like, think of it 40 ounce, like a 40 Colt or McKinney, or like a Colt 45, like a 40 malt liquor. That's more. I mean, I know it's a beer.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Don't even know.
It's not in my wheelhouse. Then it says Jimmy Red. I do have
Dandelion.
I do have some Jimmy Red, but I only have a small amount. I'd have to get some more. Dalton says dandelion. Are you talking like a dandelion wine? Because when people say dandelion, that's usually what I think of is like a dandelion wine.
Frozen
We could make some of
sweet
that.
corn wash.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That could be fun.
Yeah, I've never done
That could be interesting.
a sweet corn.
Buy a bunch of
sweet corn.
frozen sweet corn and just
Yeah. white wheat bourbon.
Have you done?
Oh yeah, I'd do that some more. I make that quite a bit, actually.
Cole Love over on YouTube said, have you done tequila if you can find agave? We haven't done tequila yet. We both, I think, really want to, and it's definitely on the video schedule. At some point, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
we haven't done it yet, but we want to.
Would it be possible to do a series from start to finish? So, John, on my YouTube channel, I know I see you're on TikTok, but on my YouTube channel, I do long form videos, tutorials, and I have several series of start to finish kind of videos.
Bennett over on TikTok says pineapple wants us to run a little swinger mash.
Yeah, right.
We haven't.
Wants us to do some upside.
Well, and I did a pineapple cranberry brandy. But haven't done any kind of. We've distilled some pineapple, but
I've done some pineapple mead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Malt liquor, great question. How to process, Paul? We're going to look into that. Something that we're not familiar with. We haven't done yet. I would imagine that it's just a heavy malt beer, similar to that process. Don't know if you cook it or not. Don't know if you already. I don't know. We'll look into it. Rhubarb.
Richard says it can happen. Message me, Cyrus. I'm sure he's talking about getting me some more of the.
Adulton over on TikTok said rhubarb.
Rhubarb would be interesting. I've never done anything like that.
It'd be fun.
I've heard a lot of people making a rhubarb mead.
Rhubarb is like huge over in Europe.
Oh yeah,
like it's like a main ingredient for them. I feel like it's like kind of like maybe like a garlic to us. Like it's they do it like I watched the Great British Baking Show.
Oh yeah,
and the rhubarb is like huge.
Yeah,
it's like in every episode in some form or fashion.
Cool.
Richard said strawberry banana.
Jack says another Thursday night well spent. Thank you, brother.
Bennett asked, how does mead do when distilled?
I have yet to distill a mead. That's been like we've had that question a number of times. I think people just call it a honey shine.
Honey shine,
yeah, Bennett, if you've heard people talk about honey shine, that's what that is.
This is a good question. This is something that's come up in my TikTok comments quite a bit. Jason Trzynski from YouTube asked, how often do you run a vinegar run before each run? No. How often would you do one?
So because our stills are pretty much in use all the time, we rarely do a vinegar run. But if you have a still and say you run it once a year, you might want to do a vinegar run. Now,
get it for the first time.
Yeah. So always your first run, when you first get a still, I always recommend to do a vinegar run and then a sacrificial run. And that advice varies. Some people say you don't have to do that. I don't argue with them because I think it's opinion. But I will say too, the 15-gallon traditional from Copper Still Co. that we ran the Pachuga on.
Yep.
I'm probably going to do. Yeah, I'm probably going to do a cleaning run on it.
Not the worst right after that run, too.
Yeah,
and in the pod.
So for a couple of reasons, like it was beginning to get pretty cruddy.
Yeah.
And also because this has such a strong flavor.
It'll carry over.
I want to make sure we kind of remove that before we run something else.
Run it out of there.
So typically, to answer your question, I run a vinegar run on a new still, and typically if I've done modifications where I've done some soldering, then I'll do another cleaning run.
Yeah. So this is possibly a great capper to a great night in terms of what we read out. It's 7:30 now, so we are in the live here shortly. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention Joe Parks over on YouTube. Earlier, I made the comment that I would love Joe to be my grandmother. Right. She said, Zach, I would love to be your grandmother also. Merry Christmas, you guys. Joe Parks.
Sweet Joe Parks.
In the chat. Maybe the sweetest, kindest lady of all time.
So far.
Just, I love her. Yeah, so guys, I think that we are about to 7:37 or so now. There's 38 of you guys on YouTube and however many of you guys on TikTok joining us. Love hanging out with you guys. Love you guys supporting us. Love seeing your comments in the chat and interacting with you guys. I think that we're probably going to call this run done for the night. And
you know who never made it to the chat tonight?
I do.
Yeah. Windsong.
Yeah.
She's probably asleep.
Windsong, we love you too.
Yeah. Never showed up.
You guys feel free, if you're not doing it already, please subscribe and turn your notifications on over on YouTube. It's still in the clear. And then go over to TikTok if you guys are hanging out with us from there, and give me a follow and let me know how can we make the live better for you guys. What are some interesting ideas? You can comment them on our videos. Yeah. We watch your guys' comments. We see them. We try to take notes of the good ideas. And so let us know. And what is something that you guys want to see? And we'll try to make it happen.
And also, just a little bit of house cleaning. Next Thursday is the day after Christmas, right? We will be going live day after Christmas. I will. I don't know. What are you guys okay going live next?
Should be okay with it.
Yeah. So I think Wednesday's Christmas, right?
I'll make plans accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will be going live. Yeah. We won't miss it because of the holiday, and
we'll do some kind of little Christmas special. We'll church it up a little bit for you guys.
Probably have some, some turkey and some ham or something. Maybe we'll do our own Christmas dinner.
We're gonna ferment some goofy shit. I bet you. I bet you at some capacity or the other, there's going to be some goofy stuff starting to ferment that night.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to be quite yet. We're going to read back through you guys' comments, see what you guys suggested. And
Pachuga.
Ham pachuga.
Ham pachuga. How do you have pachuga?
So we've got to do like a traditional pachuga, a ham pachuga, rack of ribs pachuga.
Yeah, we've got them all.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. We hope that you guys are safe, that you enjoy time with your families, that you enjoy awesome Christmas meals, and hopefully, if you guys are like us, we're giving to our family and loved ones a lot of some of the stuff that we make here with you guys, and I hope everybody enjoys the holidays, and we'll be seeing you next week.
See you next time.
Later, guys.
See you later.